For over 1 million years, fire was the single most defining force separating humanity from extinction. But during the Ice Age, when temperatures dropped so low that breath froze in the air, fire wasn't just warmth, it was survival. What's remarkable is that our ancestors didn't have matches, lighters, or magnesium blocks. What they had was knowledge, an unbroken chain of survival skill passed through generations that allowed early humans to master the art of fire-making when everything around them was frozen solid. In this episode, we're going deep into the Ice Age to uncover how this skill evolved, how it worked, and how it still holds relevance for anyone serious about primitive survival today. Fire became humanity's first technology and survival weapon. During the last Ice Age, around 2.6 million to 11,700 years ago, fire wasn't just a convenience. It was the barrier between life and death. Archaeological findings at sites like Gesher Beno Yaakov in Israel and Kesem Cave show that early humans had learned to control fire as far back as 780,000 years ago. But by the time of the Ice Age, this skill had matured into something approaching science. People learned how to make fire in freezing, damp conditions using only stone, plant fibers, and patience. They used it to cook meat, drive away predators, and harden wooden tools. Fire allowed humanity to migrate north into Europe and Siberia, regions that would have been impossible to inhabit without warmth and light. The process wasn't random. Early humans had to choose the right materials, protect sparks from wind, and understand how friction and chemistry worked together. They became scientists of survival without ever calling themselves that. One of the oldest and most effective methods our ancestors developed was friction fire. The hand drill and the bow drill are still used by survivalists today, and for good reason. The principle is simple, but demands precision. The spindle, which is a dry stick, is rotated against a baseboard made of a softer wood. The friction generates heat, turning the wood dust into a tiny coal. That coal, when placed carefully in a bundle of dry tinder, often made from cattail fluff, dry grass, or inner bark, would glow into flame when blown upon gently. This was not a quick task. In the freezing Ice Age environment, hands went numb quickly. The air was damp. Tinder had to be stored under hides or inside shelters to stay dry. But, mastery of this skill meant survival, and every member of a clan, from young apprentices to elders, learned it. Modern practitioners can replicate this with materials like willow cedar or cottonwood for the hearth board and spindle. The bow drill method, which uses a curved stick and a cord to spin the spindle, is a practical evolution of that Ice Age knowledge. It provides continuous rotation and control, ideal for anyone trying to learn primitive fire-making today. As humans evolved and learned to manipulate minerals, another fire-making breakthrough emerged, striking flint against iron pyrite or later steel. The spark that flew off was caught in charred plant fibre or fungus like amadou, a natural tinder made from the hoof fungus found on birch trees. This discovery was revolutionary. It meant fire could be made quickly, even when friction fire was too slow or conditions were too harsh. During the final millennia of the Ice Age, groups like the Magdalenian people of Europe perfected this technique. Archaeologists have found flint and pyrite kits stored in leather pouches alongside dried fungi, proof that fire-making had become an organized, portable technology. For today's survivalists, historians, and outdoor enthusiasts, understanding Ice Age fire-making isn't just about nostalgia. It's a fundamental skill that can mean the difference between life and death. If you ever find yourself in the wilderness with no lighter or matches, these ancient techniques still work perfectly. Step 1 is preparation. Just like Ice Age hunters, you must gather your materials in advance. Dry tinder, kindling, and fuel wood. Keep them dry by storing them inside your clothing or under waterproof covering. Step 2 is technique. Practice the bow drill method regularly before you need it. The first time you try, it may take 20 minutes to get a coal, but with experience it becomes instinct. Step 3 is fire management. Early humans understood that once you had fire, you protected it like life itself. Coals were carried in bark containers wrapped in damp moss, allowing travellers to restart a fire quickly the next night. Beyond its practical use, fire represented civilization. It brought people together for warmth, cooking, storytelling, and safety. Archaeological soot marks on cave ceilings show that fire was placed carefully to heat entire shelters. Burnt bones found nearby indicate that people roasted meat, cooked marrow, and even used smoke to preserve food. The ability to control fire allowed small groups to survive the coldest centuries in human history, pushing the limits of where people could live. This mastery of fire wasn't a luxury. It was the moment humanity became self-sufficient against nature. Without it, the Ice Age might have erased us completely. The ability to make and control fire during the Ice Age remains one of humanity's greatest survival achievements. It proved that knowledge, not strength, defines survival. These same techniques still work, and anyone serious about primitive skills, history, or off-grid living should master them. If our ancestors could summon warmth from frozen earth using nothing but stone, wood, and determination, then so can we. If you enjoyed this exploration into ancient human resilience, don't forget to subscribe to Echoes of Valor for more deep-dive documentaries into the forgotten skills and technologies that shaped human history. Share this video with others who value real, usable knowledge from the past, because history's lessons are meant to be lived, not just remembered.